Yesterday's songs don't stay around long, not much anymore.
Yesterday's songs are gone.
Yesterday's words don't make themselves heard like they did before.
Yesterday's words are
Baby, yesterday's blues, maybe yesterday's news, but the truth always stays the same. And the good things will never change, like saying I love you, just saying I love you.
Recently, I've come into possession of a box of vinyl records. They belong to my mother's side of the family, mainly listened to by my mother, my aunt, and my late grandfather. Going through these records and seeing the kind of music they enjoyed really piqued my curiosity. So, I got myself a cheap little suitcase record player, nothing fancy, and I dove right in. The first thing I noticed when looking through the box were all the names and albums that I recognized. Now, not all of them, there are definitely some obscure ones in there, but some very popular and iconic albums were laying in there too. Albums by Elton John, The Doors, and Fleetwood Mac are among the ones I was most excited about. I started trying to play the records right away, and I found myself feeling lost and hesitant, not knowing exactly how all the parts worked. I couldn't help but laugh at myself as I struggled to use technology that was predominant just over 30 years ago. It just all seemed so foreign and ancient to me. Some of the records had prominent grooves for where the songs started, although it was near impossible to get the needle right in the exact spot. Also, almost every record I played was full of skips and pops throughout. I took a closer look and realized just how dirty and dusty and scratched they were, which makes sense. These records have been collecting dust in an attic and probably haven't been touched in over 30 years. Funny enough, there was a Boston record sitting in the box loose, not even in a sleeve, and that one ended up sounding the best. Seriously, like I had no problems the whole way through. In the meantime of getting the records cleaned, I took a closer look at the albums themselves. The covers are always prominent and iconic with their music, but the inside of the albums have further artworks and stories that are just as interesting. There was one record in there that I was prepared to skip over, because I'd never heard of Stars 45. Looking at the back, however, I noticed a lot of songs that looked familiar. Turns out the album is a mashup of a bunch of Beatles songs, and it quickly became one of my favorites in the box.
1, 2, 3, 4. This happened once before. I came to your door. No reply.
Given that these albums were listened to by my mother and her sister when they were younger, I thought I would sit down with them and ask them what they remember about these records, knowing that they likely haven't seen them since they were children. So, first question I have is, what records do you remember listening to when you were growing up?
Mostly I remember listening to my dad's music. He liked the classics, Eric Clapton, Elton John, The Police was always one of my favorites.
I would say probably like Fleetwood Mac.
My mom used to torture us with some Alabama and all those country music.
I think she liked more of the country stuff.
Right, I can already tell you there's a bunch of country in there.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of country.
Those would definitely be mom's.
Yeah, I assumed.
Not my dad's.
And then when I was a little bit older, maybe like 4th grade, I bought my first album and it was Salt and Pepper.
I have some of mine, like Madonna, Michael Jackson, Quiet Riot.
So just a variety of all kind of music.
It was more of just whatever we were listening to or whatever mom and dad were listening to, and it's just a variety. I mean, anywhere from R&B and Motown to country to rock to bubblegum, so a little bit of all of it.
Do you think this box is like the last you heard of records? Or
Yes, yeah, definitely.
I didn't have any more when I got older.
Probably around the 2000s when we moved out of that house, because we didn't have a stereo or record player, so they got boxed up and put in the attic, and just as keepsakes.
Alright, next I'll have you look through the box of records and decide on one to play for us.
So The Police, oh my gosh, yeah, that was one of Dad's favorites.
Police. This is one that I have the most memories of. Love this album. When I was a kid, I liked looking at the pictures.
I mean, they don't make them like that anymore.
I remember my dad listening to this one, INXS.
I've never heard of that.
You probably like it.
Oh.
Joan Jett. So my Aunt Vicky used to babysit us.
And with Joan Jett, me and Aunt Vicky, when she would babysit,
We would put this on and we would get the cake mixers and
put aluminum foil around them.
jam out. All right, when you talk to Hottie, she's gonna be all about this one. Jesus Christ Superstar was her favorite.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ Superstar. One of the best. One of the best. Oh my gosh.
I was thinking about this today, and I
Aw.
thought that I was imagining something, but I was like, I felt like she had something with Archie and Jughead. This is Heidi's.
It has her name on it.
Oh my gosh, that's got my name on it. I don't even remember having this record. I remember watching the show and being like obsessed with it, but I just didn't realize I had a record, so that's actually really cool.
Have you watched Riverdale?
No, is that part of that? Is that something to do with that?
Oh yeah, all the time. I forgot about that one.
Madonna. First record I ever had.
This was my first record I ever bought.
Oh, that's it. Oh, that's so cool.
Salt and Pepper, Spinderella's not a fella, but a girl DJ.
Well, we have two Grease.
Hottie had to have her own and I had to have mine on the Grease soundtrack.
See, I can already see my Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes. My mom,
There it is.
another, Alabama. Oh yeah, Ronnie Millsap.
Really? Is that a good one?
No, it's the country.
Oh, okay.
The Gremlins. The story of the Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Stevie Wonder. Yeah, Stevie Wonder was one of my dad's favorites. Okay, I know which one I want to pick. It's gonna make you laugh, but I don't care.
All right, let's do it then.
Yeah, I just want to hear how it sounds.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind hearing this more of a day.
Aww. I wonder which one I want to play.
That's good enough. Oh my gosh. It sounds good though.
Yeah.
I'm missing that stereo sound.
I don't know if it's supposed to sound like that.
Here we go. No, it's messed up.
I should have cleaned it.
Yes, definitely not how it's supposed to sound. There you go.
I wanted to clean the records and try to restore them to the best condition they can be. There are many methods to clean records, all of which made me feel hesitant. The ideal way is to buy a record cleaning machine, which I'll look at my other options. Many people have said that they wash their records in the sink with soap and water. Some even said they cleaned them in the dishwasher, which I was not about to try. I took a Police album and washed it in the sink. I used Dawn soap because if it's good enough to clean ducks, it should be good enough for these records. I tried my best not to get the label wet, but it ended up getting some wet spots anyway. The next method I used was a vinyl cleaning kit, coming with several brushes and a cleaning solution. The vinyl cleaning kit and soap and water both made the albums look cleaner, but they still sounded more or less the same. For my mother's record by Salt and Pepper, I would need to do something more extreme. There is a method circulating online that calls for you to pour wood glue on your spinning record, let it dry, and you should be able to peel it off and all the dust and debris should stick to the glue. It is in no way practical or efficient, but it seemed fun, and may be enough to get this record working again. So I used paper towels to keep wood glue off my record player as much as possible, turned it on, and started pouring.
Oh god, oh god, oh god.
Everything went smoothly, and now it was just time to wait. Where did that card go? Oh my god, that card's covered in wood glue. As my records were drying, I went back through some of the ones that were mentioned that my grandfather used to like. Albums by INXS, Stevie Wonder, and The Police, specifically. I thoroughly enjoyed them, even if they were not in the best condition. I never realized how similar our music tastes were. So before I start playing the cleaned records, I wanted to get some sort of comparison. I have a vinyl here released in 2018, Trench by 21 Pilots. This is a brand new record. I cleaned it real quick, and to my surprise, the record skips. A lot.
You were one of those classic ones, traveling around the sun. You were one of those classic ones, those classic ones. All right.
The record is basically impossible to listen to, which is really disappointing. Maybe it just got a bad copy, or maybe they really just don't make them like they used to. Well, 24 hours later, the wood glue is dry. It dries clear, which looks and feels really nice, and all you have to do is pull up the edges and peel it off. Yep, that was satisfying. But after all that work and collateral damage, was it worth it? It sounds exactly the same. Maybe these records were just mishandled or not stored properly, but the damage seems to be permanent. There are still pops and skips in them, but I found myself kind of enjoying their imperfections. I like how mechanical and physical they are. It's silly, but I found some enjoyment and fondness in it. Now, as I mentioned earlier, some of these records belong to my late grandfather. I couldn't help but think of him while listening to a lot of these. Getting to experience these same songs in the same way he used to, in a weird way it felt like we were bonding. There's one record that gave me this feeling more than any of the others.
This was a good one, but it doesn't have Tears from Heaven on here. I thought maybe it would.
There was an album in there by Eric Clapton. And that strikes a chord with me because I helped play an Eric Clapton song for my grandfather at his funeral. The song was Tears in Heaven. It was the first song I looked for when I flipped the album over. It's not on here, but I listened to it anyway, and I thought of my grandfather. I like to think he got to listen to his favorite music one last time that day. Or maybe he still does, on a record that never skips or pops. Maybe where he is, yesterday's songs aren't really gone.
Said it's strange without